analysis, the first column is what does the poem say. So the first one is the speaker and point of view, which obviously is a daughter point of view. And second of all, the setting, I feel like it's like they was it's like a conversation, so they're probably talking in their home, or like probably like in the living room or the dining room or anywhere in the house having this conversation, because it's just between the mother and the daughter. And third, the character. So obviously the character is the daughter and her mother. She also mentioning her dad and someone who already passed away. So that could be a character too. And last but not, I mean, almost last, the situation. So the situation over here is that the daughter is explaining her depression to her mother, but the mother doesn't get it. Doesn't like get how painfully and how poison, sickness, how sick it is, and her depression is causing by somebody dead. The last but not least is a conflict. Conflict over here is both internal and external. The internal conflict here is that she's fighting with depression, and she's fighting with her own self to get out of depression. And the external conflict here is between her and her mother, because it's like she explains to her mother. She's fighting to explain to her mother, but her mother doesn't get it, doesn't get her point of view, and doesn't understand her. So that's the first analysis for the first column. The second column is what does a poem does. So with the diddle, first D, which is diction, I feel like the way she organized it is somewhat a conversational diction. It's like she talking to her mother, and her talking to her mother with dialogue doing in the poem. She also, and then I feel like she used like depressing, well, obviously depressing diction, because it's like her mother doesn't understand understand her own daughter, and how sick depression actually is, and it actually is a disease and not sadness. And I also feel like it's somewhat careless, because she, like, if you just read it, it just sounds like a story that, not necessarily careless, but like a story that tell you like a formal, like an like it connected to you, like you can actually connect it to the poem. There you go. That's what I mean by careless. The imagery, I found some pretty interesting imagery, which is like anxiety is a cousin of depression, and that in insomnia sweep me up in his arm, dip me in the kitchen, in the small glow of the stove life. And I feel like those imagery go hand into hand of what depression actually is. Like anxiety go into hand with depression. Insomnia, insomnia also is part of depression too. So yeah. So so the next D. So the next D, I also put, which is I also put like depression dragged me to bed, and that insomnia had this romantic way of making the moon feel like perfect company. Like I feel like it just speaks for the overall of the poem of how sickful depression is, and how much what is being come with the depression, and how important depression is. For L, language, I put is kind of, again, conversational. Yes, devastating. It's kind of somewhat delusion, because of how the mother keep thinking that depression is like something, just something. It's not important. It's just sadness. You're gonna get over it. Like it's just this kind of like, it's just like the language is powerful, yet the tone is just like calm, and not calm, but like it's just there. It's just like that, but the language itself is powerful. Um, E E for E um for E I put that the mother the mother for I mean not E S I mean S for S I put for the signature it the she repeat mother a lot. That's saying that her mom is pretty important to her, and how much she want her mom to understand her sickness. And she also repeat happy, that it show that again that she's trying to be happy and trying to get out of depression by explaining it to her mother, but her mother didn't, and ask for her mother help, but her mother just like, no, you're fine, just be happy. Happy is a decision. You choose to be happy. Don't be depressed anymore. Yeah. So that's the ditto part. And lastly is the imply. So what does the poem imply? So I feel like the poem is implying that depression is an illness, and that it's not sadness. No matter what caused your depression, is something, is an injury in your mind, and you just cannot tell somebody that is like broken and tell them to like, oh yeah, heal yourself up like right away. Like you can't do that. You have to help them. So same thing with depression. Depression is not sadness. Depression is something that when you that you we as a community need to help whoever is in a depression, to help them get out of it. Not just be there for them. Understand them. Don't just treat it as something that could go away without any treatment. And that we should treat depression seriously, and we should help our relative, and we should help our relative and any close family member, friend, to be, to be out of depression. Because no matter what caused depression, no one needs to be depressed, need to be in a depression, and we all have the ability to help someone to be out of it. So yeah. Hi, Mr. Alador. So for this assignment, I chose explaining my depression to my mother by Sarbian Benin, I think. Okay, so basically the poem is about the daughter explaining her depression to her mother because of somebody dead that caused the depression, and she's trying to explain how serious the depression is, and how much it's been killing her soul and her mind and her killing her physically, but her mother doesn't understand it. So yeah, I also feel like this kind of connected to a friend personally, not me. She went through a lot, and that she's the same thing as the daughter in this poem. She's trying to explain her depression to her mother, but her mother seemed to like, you're just 17 years old. What are you even be depressed about? Like, you don't have anything to worry about, and that just be happy. Do thing that makes you happy, so that you'll be out of depression. So basically, she just like the mother in the poem when she does not get that depression is a sickness, an illness to your mind, and it can kill you easily. And it's really like, it's really devastating to see that, because like you, it's kind of like your mom, which is like basically someone that is really close to you, doesn't understand you, making that, marking the point that people need to pay attention closely to the people who is around them, because you don't know what is going on in their life, their mind, in their soul, whatever happened to them. It's like, don't, it's like someone close to you and then you judge them because that's all you see, and then you doesn't care about it, which is like exactly like what the poem is saying. So yeah.